Hello! This is going to be a contentious topic, I can already tell you. I have a very negative opinion on 90% of the reworks in this game. Also, this will likely be a two-parter because there's a lot of champs, and I have a list of all of them but Mel here, but it doesn't matter because Mel never got a rework yet. But I'm not going to necessarily go over every champ, just the ones that have been changed enough to be significant. Yeah, anyway, I've played this game basically since day one, like season 1, day 1. So without further ado, Aatrox. Yeah, I do have the wiki open here. You know, say hello to the wiki. It's not because I don't know who was changed, it's because if someone was changed in a way to where people might not know, I can bring them up and I can show you how many changes they've gotten over the years. Aatrox, on the other hand, this is the most well-documented rework of all time. They took a champ that was like really unique and really interesting. He was kind of like a less mobile Master Yi type of guy who had like a knock-up. He was cool. I liked him. Also, his like biggest thing was he filled up a red bar and then he got to revive if he had it full all the way. But when they reworked him, they made it to where when he had his ult up, I think he got one free revive. But then they just got rid of it altogether because they were like, oh, it's broken. So the only thing that this champ had that was like sort of unique that tied into his old kit, they got rid of, and he's just bigger, cooler Riven. So D tier. Yeah. They deleted old Aatrox. New Aatrox, in my opinion, has a very generic kit. He's very unfun to fight against. So, you know, fuck him. Ahri. She did get a rework. They changed the way a lot of her moves work. They changed her passive. They changed her ulti. It wasn't an enormous rework. It didn't need to be. But she also did get a model update. It didn't all come at the same time, but I'm saying Ahri got a rework compared to where she's released to where she is now. She's definitely gotten a rework. I would say probably as good as you could have done it. S tier. I think Ahri has just gotten more interesting. Slightly more overpowered, but you know, it is what it is. Akali. Akali used to be like one of my favorite champs to play. She was really cool back in like season 1. She was a fun assassin. This was back when hybrid itemization was real. So she'd build like Hextech Gunblade, which was like one of the coolest items they ever made. It's an active, it dealt damage, it gave you Spell Vamp. We love Spell Vamp around here. Sorry, I'm not a Spell Vamp hater. Bro, so many people are gonna watch this and be like, this guy's so wrong. I only play League directly from a pro meta competitive standpoint, so his opinions on having fun are so wrong. Yeah, okay, whatever. Like, thanks. Thanks for your opinion, I guess. Akali, though, they reworked her. Wow, at some point. To where her ult didn't really have an ammo system anymore. It has like a 2 distinct dash thing. Her Q isn't like an on-hit auto attack, it's just a cone. They changed her a lot, okay? And when she first came out, after they changed her, she actually couldn't be targeted by towers in her smoke screen. So she would literally just walk you under tower and kill you and smoke screen away. And it was insane. I cannot believe that went live. It was not on her kit for that long though, so thankfully. However, I will say, I liked old Akali. I thought she was fun. I don't like new Akali. I don't think she's fun. Does that mean it was a bad rework? No. Like, her character design, at least, like, the way her model looks, the way her, like, lore functions, I don't want to say is written, because Akali's new lore is nothing. It's a nothing burger. But, you know, she's a character. She has cool motivations and voice lines and stuff. So all that together, I'd give her, like, a B tier. I think they did a really good job on her character, and that side of things, but I think her kit, she's just consistently been one of the most frustrating champs in the game to play against, and I don't think she's that fun to play, at least compared to her old incarnation, so that's how it is. Akshan, I mean, he's gotten a lot of changes over the years, but he hasn't been reworked, so gonna ignore him. Alistar actually did get a rework, like, a long time ago. He used to have, like, an AoE heal. He still sort of does, but it works differently. And the trampling thing, where he does damage around him and then he stuns on a punch, that was his passive, so essentially they switched the two. Also his ult used to be a lot better. It used to give him, like, AD. And actually, like, have you not take damage, as opposed to now to where you use it and you're confused because you're actually still getting one shot. But that might not have been because they necessarily nerfed how good it is. It could just be that the meta's damage has gotten so high that it doesn't matter anymore. However, I will say, I liked the way old Alistar worked better. But, you know, they did update his model. Believe it or not, he has one of the worst models in the game, but they did update it. So it used to be worse. I don't know. I'm gonna say he got a rework, but it basically didn't happen. It was a small rework, if anything. But I liked the old one better, so I'm putting it in C, because he's still ugly, and he's still bad. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, Amumu. He hasn't really been changed enough to matter. I mean, he has, but not enough for me to say he got a rework. Not a Nivea. Annie, they sort of changed, but not really. Ilios. I mean, Ashe did get changed a long time ago, but I guess it was about as much as Alistar, right? Her Q used to just be her current passive, and her current passive was if she doesn't auto-attack for, like, up to a minute, she gained a crit chance on her first next auto. So basically, when you went into lane for the first time, you would get one free crit, like, on a champ. And that was it! That was your passive! It was really bad. Yeah. Otherwise, Ashe. So I'm not even gonna say it. Whatever. I said my piece about Ashe. It's like, why is Alistar on here then? I'll take him off. I'll take him off based on that logic that I came up with the straw man in my head. Thank you, straw man. But that's where I would have put him. A Sol D tier. I don't even need to, like, think about it. I don't even talk about it. He was very unique, very cool, very interesting. Now he literally just has a point-and-click instant delete button that stacks AP and, well, not AP, but it stacks damage for him for the match, and it's broken, and he's lame. And you might say, well, he's not super strong right now. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Like, if I was a game designer, let's say, I mean, you remember how release Aphelios was, right? He's here, so I'm going to talk about him. I could just lower his numbers enough to where he's useless in the meta, so it doesn't matter how broken his kit is, or how easy he is to play, or what his high ceiling is. It doesn't matter, because I could literally just, as a designer, say, nah, I decided he's dog shit. So it doesn't matter if someone is good or bad in the meta. It's just the game, man. Anyway, yeah, A Sol's lame. He was cool. Rest in peace, my space doggy. I mean, his year has been changed a bajillion times, but I'm not putting him up here. No, 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 no. No. I guess yes. Caitlyn was changed a lot, but she was changed a long time ago. When they gave her, like, the headshot mechanic. And they changed the way, like, all of her moves worked. This was, like, back when they did all the ADC updates. This is when they changed Ashe, too, I'm pretty sure. I'm not putting her up here, though. And you might be wondering. Salj, my brother, why do you have every single champion up here if a lot of them haven't gotten reworks? And I will answer that. It is because every other tier list doesn't have all the champs that have gotten reworked, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, only major like VGU like champs count. And even then, a lot of those aren't even updated to the most recent stuff. Like Victor, right, isn't on a lot of them. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just do it myself. And you might say, why didn't you just move them all to the bottom in between videos? And it's just like, you know, after this one, I'll do that. Now, straw man in my head, stop arguing with me. Cassiopeia actually got a pretty big, like, gameplay rework at one point during her lifetime. However, I'm not putting her up here either. But you put Ahri up here, and she got changed at least as much. Yeah, but she didn't also get a model rework. Okay, but Caitlyn got changed as much, and she got a model rework. It's like, okay, fine. Caitlyn's, like, more interesting than she used to be, and she was lame. I'll put her in, like, freaking S tier. There you go. Corki got changed and changed back, so who cares? Darius, Diana. Diana got changed a lot. I actually liked old Diana's gameplay a lot more. I used to play Diana a lot back when her ult was the dash instead of her E. I thought she was a lot of fun. I liked the pull being on a basic ability. It didn't do damage before. I don't know. I don't really get why they changed her. I remember at the time when they did it, I was like, she's finally not useless until 6. She can actually gank. And now, after the fact, I'm like, yeah, but she's also boring. And I don't like playing her, so. I digress. Mundo. I hate his new design. I hate his new lore. I liked his old design and lore better. However, his model fidelity is significantly better, so I'll give him that. His kit is more interesting and in-depth. His old kit was a nothing burger. It was ass. I used to play old Mundo, and it was lame. And I don't even play new Mundo, because I just like the way old champ kits feel better. I just think they're more fun, and more simple to understand, I guess. Because I'm kind of like an every champ kind of guy. I'm not a one trick. I am definitely a hits random on champ select every game sort of dude. So, in that regard, though, he's fine. I think they could have done better on his, like, design and lore, but his gameplay is a lot better than it was, so I think it's just plain and simple, more interesting. Let's see. Evelynn. This might be controversial. I used to play, back in, like, Season 1, old Evelynn and Twitch, like, a lot. Like, they were my mains, like, a lot. I loved perma-stealth. I loved not being able to be seen. Bro, what is even the point of Twitch's stealth anymore, by the way? Like, people will say, oh, it's for getting past wards. Yeah, but that doesn't matter until, like, freaking Diamond, dog. That a Twitch is gonna stealth before he walks up to a ward and then gets into a lane in a position to where he won't get one-shot by someone. And that's what mattered. Why does he even have stealth? Because people can see him in his auto attack range. Unless he's ulting, I guess. But still, it's like... It's so lame, man. Like, you stealth past a bush or something, and then, like, a Camille flies out and just one-shots you. And people will be like, oh, skill diff, skill diff. Yeah, but, like, that's not what stealth is supposed to be. Why even have it in the game if you're gonna make it bad? Ugh. Anyway. I digress. I liked Old Eve a lot. I thought she was a lot of fun. She did have the problem where, your pinky would fall off due to carpal tunnel because of hate spike. She sorta still has that problem, but not nearly as bad. Karthus still has that problem though, so Riot, change Karthus, thanks. But Yeah, I don't know. Her new model's way better. Her new lore is... I mean, it's more interesting, I guess. Like, being a demon of, like, agony is, like, sort of fun, I guess. Before, she was kind of just a hot chick who murdered people and was blue for some reason. Because she was, like, an assassin. But, I don't know, man. I don't think her new lore is that interesting, either. I just think it's... You know, it has potential to be more interesting, I guess. Her design is better. Sorta. I actually don't even think this Eve is that hot. That she's just not my type. I don't know. KDA Eve, though. She is. She's the best. We're not talking about that, though. Yes, I am gonna get sidetracked. This is why it's a two-parter. Otherwise, I'd be able to do this in 1 hour easily, but I'm not going to be able to because I yap too much. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Because she's still toxic and still lame. She has like a bad gimmicky charm instead of like a point-and-click stun like she used to have, which I loved. The point-and-click stun that did more damage if you hit them from behind. I loved that move. I don't know. I liked old Evelynn. She had like a bunch of lifesteal and attack speed when she ulted and stuff. It was weird. I'm gonna put her in B. I think they did a fine job, but they essentially deleted the old champ, and the new champ isn't that cool. She's not played that often. People don't really care about Evelynn that much. Some people like to cite her as like an example of sexuality done right, but like, I don't care. That's not for me, dog. This is not my place. Ezreal. He wasn't changed that much. His old, I do want to go on record though and say his old W, I liked 10x, if not more, than his new W. His new W is lame as hell. I don't like it. His old W was cool. I like the fact that he was like a semi-support who could give his teammates attack speed. Not to mention his old W felt way better for playing AP Ezreal, and his new W doesn't. Thanks, Riot, for just making something that worked bad, that no one likes. Thanks. But I like Ezreal's W more. Yeah, okay, fine. Some people like it. Fiddlesticks, actually really good. I will say, I still have a complaint, because I'll keep saying this, I liked old League of Legends game design philosophy way more than new League of Legends. Dark Wind was one of the most fun abilities in the game to use. And they took it away. And his new E is bad and lame. But it has to be bad and lame because they kept his point and click fear, and Crowstorm's still really good. So, you know, balance. We love balance. We love it when our games are boring and sanitized. But yeah, I will say, by and large, his character, his design, his voice lines, everything, like, going into him, very good. They did a good job with Fiddlesticks. Fiora, D tier. Old Fiora was way better in every way. New Fiora's dog shit, gimmick champ that one-shots you with a bad mechanic. Old Fiora was literally one of my mains. I played her all the time. She was basically like Master Yi, but a girl. And you might say, but Master Yi is Master Yi, so why do we need two of them? As we have like 5 Rivens, so like, you know, shush. I don't know. Old Fiora was way more fun. Not to mention, when new Fiora first came out, she didn't have like this bang, and everyone was complaining that old Fiora was hot and new Fiora was ugly, so that happened. I don't actually care about that, really. Especially in League, where all your champs are like this big and 3 pixels. Like, if you're gonna complain that your champ is ugly, you shouldn't be buying skins in the first place, dog. I don't know. I don't know. Old Fiora was fun. New Fiora sucks. That's all I gotta say. Galio. This one's bittersweet. I'm gonna hold him here, but I'm gonna still talk about him. Old Galio literally was one of my mains as well. Like, I played Old Galio all the time. Like, all the time. I loved him. I loved his old Shield of Durand because it healed you way more than people did damage almost all the time. I loved giving your teammates movement speed with your Tornado. I loved his, like, Lux E. I loved his old ult way more than his new, what is it now? His W. In almost all regards, I liked old Galio's gameplay better. Actually, in all regards, I liked old Galio's gameplay better. But they made his, like, model and character and, like, voice lines and also Gatekeeper Galio in this skin peak. They did so many good things that it's like, I can't put him that low. But I'll keep him in B. I'll keep him in B. The reason, by the way, that I'm not doing this with other people is because other people would be really mad at me for making this tier list because I hate most reworks. Gangplank. I liked old Gangplank. I did. I liked old Gangplank. You might be thinking, he's not that different. It's just now he doesn't literally take his enemy's CS and give an attack speed boost. And it's just like, yeah, but doing that with, like, support Gangplank was really funny. You might be thinking, support Gangplank was really bad back in the day. And it's just like, yeah, sure, but it was fun. And that's what video games should be about, is having fun. And not wanting to literally die every single match because the enemy team has some stupid bullshit that one-shots your entire team 40 times in a row. So, yeah, I don't know. Gameplay-wise, I liked old Gangplank, and I don't like new Gangplank. I think having to set up barrels isn't fun. I think it's tedious, it's lame. When someone else shoots one of your barrels, it's like, oh, okay, I guess that feels kind of bad. And it's like, oh, skill diff. You're supposed to set up your barrels in a way to where they can't shoot your barrel, and then you put a barrel next to them, and it's just like, yeah, but then you have to wait for your barrel ammo to have, like, 3 barrels up, or 2 barrels up. Not to mention the strategy of just putting barrels in a bush and then blowing them up when someone walks in. One-shotting them is lame and bad and shouldn't be in the game. His design, though, is infinitely better. Old Gangplank's chest pubes, iconic, but horrible. Easily one of the worst things that they've ever done design-wise in League of Legends was old Gangplank. But I don't like his kit at all, so I'm putting him in B tier. You know what? I'm putting him in... I'm keeping him in B tier. I think if they visually did a really, really good job, but gameplay, I don't care, they're in B tier. That's where I'm going with this. And then the other way around, which is why Mundo's here, is A tier, and if they did good on both, it's S. If they did good on neither, it's D, in which case, why is C here? I don't know. Maybe C will never have a champ in it. I don't know, man. Graves. Graves got a giga huge rework. I actually used to play Graves a lot. Back when he was literally just Misfortune, but had slightly less range. I loved him, because I love Misfortune. I thought he was awesome. I will say, it was a smart idea to change him. 1, he was just Misfortune. 2, he, is way more interesting now as, like, a jungler instead of, like, a weirdly short-range bot laner. Yeah, and I still like him now, so A tier. Good job, Graves, you live. Tech Room has been changed a bit over the years, but whatever. Heimerdinger got changed a ton since his release. A ton. Heimerdinger's had a huge rework, but he's been reworked for so long that people probably don't even remember. I liked old Heimerdinger way better, and he was way more toxic. You'd be able to put down 3 turrets. Some people might remember the 2 turret meta when he only had 2. You'd be able to put down 3 turrets, and You didn't have to be next to them. They would just always work. Peek, by the way, that's awesome. You just leave them next to your tower in like top lane, and they just get CS for you, and you could roam. Loved that. Let's see. His stun grenade used to blind? I don't think it still does that. Here, let me actually check. See, this is why I have the wiki open. Heimerdinger. We gotta go to past versions, back in the day. Yeah, see this? He gives himself, nearby champions, and structures, and his turrets, health regen. This was such a cool passive. I loved this, bro. Literally, you would just stand and dance next to towers. Also, I will say, this for reference, I only played Twisted Treeline. I only played Twisted Treeline until they reworked it. Yes, by the way, you might remember Twisted Treeline. That was the second version of it. The second version of it was significantly worse than the first. I don't know what they were thinking. They killed the mode. Literally everyone was playing Twisted Treeline until they reworked the map, and it was horrible. And instead of admitting that they made the map bad, they were just like, well, I guess we'll delete Twisted Treeline because no one wants to play it. Riot are a bunch of clowns sometimes, I swear. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Heimerdinger. Yeah. I remember. Because I had Alien Invader Heimerdinger. And yeah, when you ranked it up, they'd change color. And when they changed color, they did different things. Oh, it was crazy. Oh, could you only have 2? You could hold 3, but you could only have 2? I guess so. But yeah, I'm remembering this. Yes, and micro rockets literally targeted 3 random enemies, but it was an auto lock. It was so good. I loved this ability. Yeah, this stunned and blinded. I loved Heimerdinger, man. He was so cool. Oh man, I totally forgot about all of this. Yeah, for next 10, your abilities gain following empowerments. Your grenade gets more range. You fire more rockets. I loved old Heimerdinger. Anyway, new Heimerdinger's boring and cringe and bad. D tier. Sorry. I'm literally, now that all the memories are flooding back of how cool he used to be, yeah, no, D tier. This champ's is ass and lame. He's literally just a W one-shot champ. Riot's like, oh, but he takes more skill now, so it's fun. It's more fair that he just presses R and one-shots you with W and literally has no other gameplay. Yeah, fuck off. Aurelia, C tier. Actually, I'm putting her in C tier. What do you know? C tier is for someone. Old Aurelia, I know you might be sick of hearing this, was one of my mains. I played Aurelia and, not really Eve as much. I played Eve a lot, but not as much. I played Aurelia and Galio, though, a lot back before their rework. Like, a lot. Aurelia was one of my favorite champs. When I heard she was getting reworked, this was already after Aatrox's rework, right? So, basically, I was like, oh, I can't wait for her to get a new model and all her skins to be updated. But I'm a little wary that they might get rid of the things that make her interesting. They did. People might say, oh, she's basically the same champ now. She's not. She really isn't. Her old ult was bad. Her new ult is okay. So right there, already different. Her old E was a point and click like auto attack stun, but it only worked in certain situations. Her old W did like extra true damage when you activated it and healed you a bunch. She still had the Q reset thing on minions. That was the thing that they kept. But I loved old Aurelia. I think her new gameplay is ass. I think when they first reworked her, she had like a disarm thing that made her sort of interesting and unique. But then Riot was like, something is interesting and unique. Instead of like tuning the numbers on this champ, let's just remove it. So she's just boring and lame and just stat checks people now. Fuck Aurelia. Fuck the people that changed her too. Well, you know what? That's not fair. Not fuck you for changing her. I'm not gonna be that toxic, okay? I understand. Her model was bad. And her new model is way better. And her animations are way better. Her gameplay is ass, though. Janna's changed a lot, but a lot of the changes she's gotten have been changed back. So, I'm not putting her up there. Jax. You know what? I will talk about Jax. I'll put him in C tier as well. Love his new model. I think it's awesome. Yeah. I liked his old... I liked dodge. I know someone shoot me. Bad opinion police. Bad opinion police. This guy likes dodge. Literally, pretty much every day since they removed dodge chance from the game. Also, you probably don't know this, so I will look at this for you. Just for you guys, my little babushkas, past versions. Alright, here we go. Passively increases Jax's dodge chance. Upon activation, Jax stuns surrounding enemies for a second. Deals damage. Enhanced attack lasts for 7 seconds after dodging an attack. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Alright, well, this did have an active on it for a bit, but originally it didn't have an active on it. It was just a passive. First R, second R. Yeah, anyway. Not important. The thing that matters is, essentially, dodge chance was in the game. Riot said it was bad for the game, for people to be able to dodge an attack by an ADC. Terrible fucking opinion, by the way. Horrible opinion. What do you mean it's a bad idea to be able to dodge a point-and-click damage option that will hit you no matter what and does a lot of damage? And also, as soon as they got rid of dodge, because a lot of the reason they got rid of dodge is because it wasn't consistent, right? It felt really bad if someone just dodged something with a 10% chance on like Ninja Tabbies or Phantom Dancer, you know? But shut up. You have crit in the game. Just like, yeah, but you can get to 100% crit. Especially in this season, it's really common to not get to 100% crit. Getting crit feels bad. When they made this change, there was still 1% crit rune in the game. You could still do that. So, why? Why? Like, it makes no sense to me. Crit shouldn't be in the game. Like, on-hit ADCs get by fine. Why not just make all the crit ADCs on-hit ADCs? You could literally just change their abilities to that. Like, and the ones that you don't, just make them lethality ability casters, right? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand the game design philosophy here. I would love for someone who works there to tell me why. But, whatever. But, to be fair, they did a pretty good job with him. His new model is great now. His new model did come with a new ult as well, which is kind of fun to use. It's a little bad. But, you know, he's not that bad. So, whatever. He shouldn't even be in C tier, honestly. He should be in, like, A tier. They did a fine job. I was just complaining about dodge chance. Let's see. Jinx, Kaisa, Kalista, Karma. Karma got changed a lot. And honestly, I thought this champ was boring before and boring after, so I couldn't tell you. So let's learn together. Let's learn together. Because I was not a Karma player back in the day. But I know she got reworked a lot. Let's see. Karma gains ability power for every missing health. What? Why was that her passive? Alright. Karma sends forth a wave of blades, dealing magic damage in a cone in front of her. I remember that. And if you use mantra, it would heal. I remember that. I actually did play Karma on Dominion a lot before she got reworked. This was great. I loved this ability. Why did they get rid of a heal? Wait, hold on. Karma had a cone heal and they got rid of it for nuke? What? Why? You know how many enchanters are in the game? Like 2. Why would they delete an enchanter from the game? And you might be thinking Karma's still an enchanter. No. No, she's not. She's not an enchanter. Lux isn't an enchanter either, and neither is Seraphine. Get out of here with that bullshit. You are crazy. Anyway, Karma creates a tether between herself or an ally or enemy. Bro. Allies gain bonus movement speed. I remember this. Enemies are slowed and take magic damage. Any champion who walks through the tether is gained movement speed. This was so cool. Old Karma was so cool. New Karma's so lame. Soul Shield sends forth a burst of energy, dealing magic damage. Or it shields herself or an ally. What? Am I crazy? Old Karma sounds awesome. Except for her passive, which is weird and ass. I would have loved this champ. I didn't play her that much. I did play her, though. It's not like I've never played her before when she was in her old form. It's just I didn't play her that much. Old Karma's way cooler. Yeah, D tier. What the hell? This is horrible. A horrible rework. New Karma's just like an ass stat check top laner, bro. Like, why would they... Just like, oh, you can't beat her healing. You can't beat her healing. Lamau. What? Kassadin was changed a lot, but honestly, I don't feel like talking about him. I don't know. They got rid of the silence on his Q. They like kind of changed the W a little. Whatever. Katarina got changed immensely. I used to play Katarina a lot more before they changed her, but Old Cat was just kind of lame. She didn't have like anything going on. Here, I will show y'all. Hold on. Past versions first. There we go. Yeah, she gets a killer assist. Her cooldowns are reduced. Yeah. She still kind of has that. Cat throws a dagger. It bounces. Damn. But if you use Killer Instinct, your next ability would do something else. You hit with a basic attack or ability, also you'd do more damage. This is just like a passive, basically. But yeah, I remember all this. Bouncing Blade does full damage, also reduces healing. You gain damage reduction. Yeah, I remember this. Although... she had like all of this even when her hair was red. Like, am I crazy? There was a dealing magic damage as well as marking them. Her basic attacks consume the mark, dealing magic damage. Whirls her daggers. Yeah, I remember this was her first rework. I remember when she did this though, but I also remember her doing this and her hair still being red. Oh yeah, see, there you go. Veracity icon, Shunpo icon. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I liked this version of Cat. I thought this version of Cat was fun. Granted, it wasn't that much different than current Cat. It was just slightly less complicated. And also she was a hybrid champ. Which I liked hybrid itemization a lot and thought hybrid champs were a lot of fun to play. This version of Cat, I thought was fine. She was fine. I still liked this version of her. It wasn't like amazing. Like, she still got the damage reduction from this. She got the mark instead of the healing thing. It's like, you know, and she got the healing thing on her own. So I think this was a successful rework of her original kit. And then for some reason they were like, but what if we put like this weird arbitrary mini game where she had to pick up daggers whenever she fought people? And then they lost me. I was like, I don't care about this, man. Like, I mean, they updated her model too, I guess. It's not one of the best looking models in the game now because they did it so long ago. I said this with a couple champs, but I don't know. I'll put her in B. She's fine, I guess. I'm certain a lot of people like new cat more than old cat. I'm just not one of those people. Kayle. C tier, actually. I was gonna put her in D, but then I thought about it a little more. I put her in C. When she first got reworked, I would have put her in D tier. I liked old Kayle a lot. I played old Kayle a lot. Old Kayle was a lot of fun. New Kayle isn't really fun. New Kayle is like a weird situation to where it's see how long you can CBT yourself until you become level 16 and you win the game automatically for free. Which it was worse in that regard when they first reworked her. And now it's a little less painful, but once again, hybrid character. I loved hybrid itemization. I will say it for every hybrid character they killed. Old Kayle was awesome. I liked old Kayle. A point and click ranged slow ability. Wow. Scaled with both. I liked this ability a lot. Guess what? Divine Blessing. Wow. She healed people and gave them movement speed. The heal was actually decent too. She still has this ability, kinda. But it's really, really bad. I don't know why they even gave it to her if it doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, it kind of gives her movement speed so she can keep up with people that she's kiting. It's like, And old Kayle E was really cool. She became ranged when she used it. All of her attacks basically did a big AoE, big damage in an AoE too. It was awesome. It's like, oh, at level 16, new Kayle kind of does that. She's always ranged, and she always does the AoE. And it's just like, yeah, but it's not the same. Also, her old ult, debatably much better than her new one. They did make it to where you could do some things if you ult yourself as Kayle now. When they first reworked her, you couldn't. Old Kayle, you would just commonly ult yourself and become invulnerable for a couple of seconds. But old Kayle could be played as a support. And I know people are saying old Kayle was a bad support. I didn't ask you. I'm just saying. Back in the day, Riot had enchanters like Karma and like Kayle, kind of. Kayle is more or less more like a luck support today, but even better than that as far as supporting capabilities go. She has a point and click slow. Okay. She has a heal that gives movement speed. Just straight up heal. It was a pretty good heal too. It healed for an alright amount. Gave a pretty good amount of movement speed. And the movement speed lasted for a pretty good amount of time. This does nothing for support, but, you know, whatever. It's good for lane phase dueling. And she can make her ADC invulnerable for up to 3 seconds. Like, that's crazy. People might say, but new Kayle could kind of do all of these things. But the difference is that when you played old Kayle support, it worked. And when you play new Kayle support, it's omega giga dog shit. Just is. Sorry. I liked old Kayle. I don't really like new Kayle. Honestly, this design. Here, let me see. Like this Kayle design on this splash art right here gets cleared easily by old Kayle's splash art, which I can't even pull up in full, but if I click on old versions, like she shows up, but... Oh, here we go. Not this Kayle. But this Kayle. This Kayle clears new Kayle splash art easily. This Kayle's way cooler. It's not even close. Not to mention, when I first started playing the game, I saw this, and I didn't even know Kayle was a chick. I just assumed it was a dude in cool armor. Like a really sick dude in cool armor. Look how cool this armor is, by the way. Look how cool this sword is, by the way. And then we go back to here. What is this shitty sword? What is this ugly lightsaber? What is this dumb bodysuit? And this, like, lame armor? What are these horns? Hello? Hello? Anyway, yeah. Kayle's ass. Kayle was a bad rework. Moving on. Oh, by the way, I am shooting for about an hour, so if I get to that much, I will stop. I don't care if I've gotten through half of them or less than half of them. It is what it is. Where were we even? Lista, Kayle, Karthus. Karthus just kind of got a visual rework. Kane, Kennen. Let's see. LeBlanc got a rework and then got reworked back. I wonder if they'll change her again, but whatever. Lee Sin kinda never was changed. I mean, Lee Sin's probably seen like more patch notes in the first 5 years of him coming out than any champ other than maybe Zeri has. But realistically, he's the same champ as he's always been. Leona. Lilia. Lissandra's been changed, but like not enough for me to put her up here. Lulu's been changed, but not enough for me to put her up there. I mean, Lux has been changed since her beta. Her beta was really cool. But you know, whatever. Malzahar was changed quite a bit from when he first came out, but also no one really cares about me going over the patch history of Malzahar, right? Also, visually, he hasn't changed that much. He's kind of still ugly. Maokai has changed enough to matter, I think. He's gotten a visual rework and a gameplay rework. So, let's pull him up. Maokai. Here we go. If a nearby champion or himself uses an ability, his next basic attack consumes them to heal him. Wow. He still kind of does this. I don't know why this has previous abilities, because he pretty much does this. This is a shockwave, dealing magic damage and slowing and knocking them back. It still kind of does this. Twisted advance, he dashes to a target, becoming untargetable. Wow. He still does this. Are you sure about previous abilities, brother? Sapling Toss. To be fair, old Sapling Toss... New Sapling Toss is cooler. You just toss them in a bush. They grow bigger. Old Sapling Bush Toss didn't have the bush thing, but they did more damage without the bush. But whatever. This was the thing that mattered. Maokai creates a magical vortex around himself for 10 seconds, reducing non-turret damage dealt to himself and all allies in the vortex by 20% during the duration and storing double the amount absorbed, capping at Vengeful Maelstrom's base damage. End of its duration, or upon reactivating, Maokai detonates a vortex. This was really cool. This was a really good ult. When he first came out, he just put it down on the ground. It didn't follow him. But then, they changed it to where it did follow him around. That isn't on here for some reason. But it is true, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. Because it was kind of bad when it didn't follow him around. But when it did, it was good. And then, yeah, Riot was like, this ult is way too good, so they gave him a new ult. Honestly, he wasn't changed that much. I shouldn't even be putting him up here, but whatever, man. I'll put him in the whatever man tier. Even. The Master G, whatever. Misfortune's kind of the same. Oh, Mordekaiser. This is another C tier, I think. They made his lore and model way cooler. They made him actually work as a champ. But I liked playing old Mordekaiser. I thought he was way more fun. I loved building AD Mordekaiser and hitting people with my Q and killing them in one hit. It was really funny. I liked his old E that was just an instant wave of magic damage that healed you a lot when you built Will of the Ancients. I liked it. I loved his old W that he could use on allies as well, that spun a bunch of metal around you. Yeah, it was cool. I liked old Mordekaiser a lot. Running him bot lane with Blitzcrank was a ton of fun. Rest in peace. Also, I loved when he could ult champs and use their ghosts, and their ghosts would fight with him. I loved 6v4 Mordekaiser. I don't like playing new Mordekaiser. I think he's boring. I think his new ult is lame. It promotes bad gameplay. All you do is just trap the support every team fight. You instantly kill them. There's nothing they can do. I don't like new Mordekaiser. His model, his lore, everything else, fantastic. Peak, even. Peak character. Gameplay? Horrible. Terrible, even. I hate it. Yeah. Rest in peace, old Mordekaiser. I will say, though, him being able to take dragons was a mistake, and whoever decided he should do that is insane, and I love you for it, honestly. Bro, honestly, Casante's been changed enough to actually be on this list, unironically. And he goes in D tier, obviously, because he's always broken, and Riot has no idea what to do with this champion. Wait, how did I skip over Casante before? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Morgana! Morgana's gameplay has not actually been changed very much, even when they reworked her, because they were like, her gameplay actually works! Even though, for some reason, every other champ whose gameplay was perfectly fine, they didn't say that for. Like Karma, for example. But hey, whatever. S tier. She looks great. Her voice lines are great. She's just better than old Morgana in every way. Yippee. Nidalee. Nidalee got a huge rework a long time ago. It was probably good. I think old Nidalee was really lame. She basically... You know how Nidalee spears do a lot of damage? And she just... Essentially, if you're playing Aram against her, she stands under tower and hits you with them from really far away. Old Nidalee did that, but more. For some reason, like, all of her power budget was in her Q. Except her Q was even harder to hit than it is now. But if you hit it at max range in the past, it would literally, like, do 70% of, like, a tank's health. I don't know what they were cooking with this champ, but she deserved to be reworked, so. But hey. You want to put her in S tier? Give her Legends of Runeterra model. Give her that. I'll put her in S tier for you, right? Alright, where were we? Nautilus, Neela, Nocturne. Nunu? Okay, see, this one's kind of controversial. Actually, is it even? It's controversial for me, I guess. Because I liked playing old Nunu. However, I will say... Despite, once again, as a support, by the way, old Nunu Snowball plus his attack speed boost was really good for support. Not to mention, he could just bush cheese people. And it was really funny. Nunu is not a good support. You could make him work. He'd be an okay tank support. But honestly, tank Nunu right now is just bad. Which is kind of a shame. Because you'd think that's what he should be good at, but, you know, whatever. I liked old Nunu, but Nunu is just better in all regards, I think. I think they just did a great job with him. The reason is controversial, by the way, is because I'm generally like old thing good, new thing bad. That's usually my take. Speaking of actually having that take, Pantheon's peak. I loved old Pantheon with his point and click Q and his tower blocking shield. I know people are probably hearing that and going, what in the war crimes? Yeah, it was real toxic. AP Pantheon too. You just ult, be a huge thing on the ground. It was way harder to dodge than it is now. Now it's super easy to dodge. So you just do half of someone's health with your ult and then you W them, which also had an AP ratio, and you'd hit them with your Lich Bane, they'd die instantly every time. It was really funny. Really funny for the Pantheon player, at least. Not really funny for anyone else. They did a great job. Pantheon is, like, in my opinion, the perfect rework. Let's see, where was I? Alright, whatever. Olaf hasn't changed that much. I mean, he is, but if the wiki doesn't believe it, then I don't believe it either. Basically, his W is different. His Q is different than it was when he was released, but I guess it's not different enough for them to care. His E is basically the same. It used to, like, not... Well, never mind. Once again, doesn't matter. I'm probably gonna cut the Olaf part. Poppy! Poppy's a weird one, actually. Because I really like new Poppy, but I really liked old Poppy. Like... I mean, I hate how she looks. She was ugly. But, like, look at this, man. If Poppy takes damage higher than 10% current health, she reduces the excess amount by 50%. Like, that's so good. Especially in, like, today's meta where everything one-shots you. Like, Poppy's next basic attack is Enhance. This is basically just Jack's W. Poppy gains bonus AD and armor for 5 seconds every time she deals or takes damage up to 10 times. And if you activate it, she maxes that out and gains movement speed. This was a lot of fun to use as well. Heroic Charge is basically the same. Her old ult, Poppy focuses a target enemy champion, dealing increased damage to them, becoming immune to all effects not originating from her target. It's basically current Mordekaiser ult. I mean, it's not actually, but it basically was. I loved playing old Poppy. She was so much fun to play. But new Poppy, also fun to play. The problem, I think, with Poppy's rework is that they deleted old Poppy. And old Poppy is a ton of fun. But unlike Aatrox, new Poppy's actually good and cool, and new Aatrox is lame. So I'm gonna put her in B. I don't know, I think that's fair. That's where I put Akali. And I think for the same reasons I put her here. I think they did a really good job with her rework on making a cool new champion. They didn't really keep Poppy as Poppy at all. In my opinion, at least. So, you know, rip. Yeah, that's been an hour. I've gotten to pee, so I think making this 2 parts, pretty smart idea on my part. So, thanks for watching. Talk to y'all in the next video. See you next time. I want to see if the button lights up when I say this. I usually don't tell people to subscribe, but please subscribe and hit the like button and the little bell or something. Just let me know if it lit up, and if not, I'll figure out how to make that light up in the future, because I'm interested in that happening. Anyway, see ya.